Hey guys, it's Courtney and I am here with another Scrapping for Less design team project. Today I'm using the sketch from the Sketch Challenge over on the Show and Share Facebook group. And I'll be using the Wild and Free mini kit that Teresa sells in the store. And I'm starting off with two of the pieces of the pattern paper. I'm using a wonky stitched circle die for one and a wonky stitched rectangle die for the other. And we'll start off with the circle. And I'm stamping this little owl from the Pink and Main stamp set that comes with the kit. Now this stamp set is exclusive for Scrapping for Less. And I'm stamping him with Lawn Fawn's jet black ink. And now we're going to do the Copic coloring right on top of this pattern paper. So because this is not made for coloring, this is not Nina, we're going to go in with our darkest color first. And we're going to be careful not to over blend. So you don't want to go over the same area too many times. It's more likely to bleed. I'm concentrating my darkest areas being on either side of his little body and wings, underneath those little feathers on his belly, and then on either side of his face. I guess if there was a light source, it would be a center light source. Next, I'll go in with my mid-tone color and extend those areas out a little bit. I did have a little bit of a problem blending, but it wasn't too bad at all. I think if we would have went in with our lightest color first, we would have had better success, but overall it came out pretty good. Last, I'll go over the entire area with my lightest color. And now for his eyes, I didn't want to use like a white gel pen or anything like that to make them white. So I picked the lightest Copic marker I have, which is an E50, and just went over that just so that there would be a little bit of difference between his eyes and the rest of the pattern paper. For his little beak and his feet, I used the same color combo, but I went in with my darkest color, which is the E09, just on his beak. His feet are so tiny, you really only needed one or two colors there. Then I blended that out with my mid-tone and then went in with my lightest color. Next, I took the leftover paper, that wood grain paper, and I'll be stamping my sentiment here from that same stamp set. And I wanted to create this strip on the bottom part of my card panel. So I'm going to use my VersaFine Onyx Black ink and clear embossing powder. I'm stamping this towards the center just so that my sentiment will be centered once I pop that on my card panel. Make sure that you treat your paper with your anti-static tool just so that any stray embossing powder doesn't stick out and it isn't visible. Next, I adhered my card panel to a craft colored card base and then popped my little owl with some foam tape as well as the little strip. Now, before I adhered my card panel here, I should have measured out how long I needed that strip to be, but I didn't. So we will go in with a pencil just to kind of mark little areas where we need to cut down that strip so that our sentiment will still be centered. I use a paper trimmer to cut off the edges of my sentiment strip. It's really skinny. You could just use your scissors, but for whatever reason, mine always end up at a diagonal. So I figured using my paper trimmer is the best way to go. I pop that up with the same Scotch foam tape. And now there are sequins in this kit as well. So I took some of those and tried to match up the same colors as that background paper, that plaid paper. There's some browns and kind of like a reddish tone sequin in there. So I scattered those throughout, put a few on the top, a few underneath the little owl, and adhered those down with my glossy accents. Once my sequins were down, the glasses that this little owl is wearing needed a little bit something different. They kind of just blended in with the background. So I decided to use my Nuvo Sparkle pen just to add a little bit of shimmer. And you'll see here that I must have had too much flowing through the pen and it kind of globbed. This dries really quickly, so if that happens to you, just take your finger and immediately dab it up and you should be fine. But you don't want to wait too long because it does, like I said, dry pretty quick. But that's the card for today. Thanks so much for stopping by and have a great day.